Well, what do you know? What do you know? Yesterday's live, I was really down and out. I was really feeling some kind of way about Ghana, disrespecting our ancestors, claiming them for reparations, and they were just doing the most. Well, one of my moderators shot me a message that I was like, whoa. While I was upset and triggered, ranting, a flood came to Ghana. That's right. A major flood came to Ghana. Our ancestors responded to Ghana's disrespect of trying to make us bondage on Freedom Day, Juneteenth. Juneteenth, let's look up the meaning of Juneteenth while I'm at it. For those that don't know the history of Juneteenth, I want you to get the memo about what happened during that time. Onboard new hires. And why it was such a foul thing for Ghana to impose their will onto the meaning of Juneteenth and try to make it be about slavery. Try to reenact slavery on Juneteenth made my people upset about it. What I'm gonna say, Juneteenth, what does it mean? So I can get into the details in just a moment. Okay. All right. It says the national holiday, the end of slavery in the United States. Here's why we celebrate Juneteenth. Oh, that was just a commercial, whatever. Hold on. Oh, here it is. The emancipated, enslaved Black Americans. The name is a blend of June and 19th, marking the day in 1865 when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation more than 2 years after it was officially issued. So these people in Galveston, Texas, were not alerted 2 years before that they were actually freed. They were actually freed people. And so it took 2 more years until the news dropped, making Juneteenth what we celebrate, or at least the people in Galveston, Texas, more or less celebrate the holiday of their ancestors that were from that particular area, getting the news that they were now free-willed and freed from slavery. And what Ghana decided to do was take the meaning of it, which is spiritual, right? It is a manifestation of all the fighting and the waiting and the praying and having hope and dreaming that you could be free. Just imagine 2 years, people were still in the fields. They were still told what to do. They were still made into non-humans. They were subjected under a lot of distress and emotional trauma, physical trauma. They finally found out that they were freed. And Ghana went and tried to reorganize the meaning of Juneteenth to be about bondage again, because they're trying to evoke a spell onto us, because it's been 7 years since Ghana has been trying to get us interested in them. And 7 years is a spiritual number. They thought that they could pull a heist over our holiday, and a heist claiming our ancestors, claiming the traumas of my ancestors and others' ancestors as being the person that has authority over them. And because of the disrespect of what Ghana pulled, the consequence came fierce. The consequence was that these people were now going to have to suffer the biggest flood in a long time. We're going to showcase what's going on in Ghana. And I am very happy that our ancestors responded, because y'all need to know that y'all can't be fucking around with people's ancestors like that and get away with it. Maybe after the loss of 12 people, they lost 12 people and they have destruction galore. They had a fire, probably at a market, and they're still flooded all over the place. Let me get the video. Hold on, my phone is tripping. No, I'm not crying a river. They're crying a river. You get it? They're crying the river. I ain't crying the motherfucking thing. Let me just show you what it looks like. Me crying a river. The world, you got a lot of nerve. No, Ghana's crying a river. The President Mahama'S is in disbelief. And I'm actually having a good time. at all this devastating flooding right here, y'all. That's what Ghana gets, fucking around with ancestors. They playing games with the ancestors, and our ancestors are responding each and every time. There was also a flooding the night that President Mahama went to the UN, lying about those people in New York were also his ancestors. They lied, and they got a flood then, and this one is even worse. Let me get to their discussions, and we'll see what's really going on. But it's great to be a Black American. It's great to have ancestors respond when something dirty has happened towards them. It is great. Let's get to see which one. I need to get new ones. Okay, we're gonna play this.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. At least 12 people confirmed dead and almost 500 rescued 24 hours after rains ripped through the Greater Accra region.
Nine people died yesterday from the water. 5 children and 4 elderly people.
While flood waters recede in some areas, the impact remains evident from damaged homes and businesses to disrupted transport. Also, Joy News Research Review shows that Ghana has secured almost $1 billion in international financing for flood control, sanitation, and urban water projects over the past 2 decades. But recurring floods continue to expose implementation and governance.
They got $1 billion to assist in all these floods, and they still ain't figured it out because they were too busy taking the money and hoarding the money away from actually doing the building that they needed to do, or they did some half-ass building. Either way, they're reaping what they sow. God don't like ugly. You can't just go fiddle around with other people's ancestors and claim them against our will. Like, you can't do that. And I'm so happy that, I've been so angered and vexed. This is kind of like relieving me, to be honest. When God's wrath comes and avenges your ancestors, it is a relief to me to see this. I don't have no concern or thought process on whatever happened to whoever. I don't care, because these people are trying to colonize us and trying to make us into something that we did not co-sign for. And they need to understand that when you mess around with our ancestors and you think you're getting over on us, you're thinking you're pulling a fast one on us, you're laughing and high-fiving others, all those different people that came to Ghana, 80 different countries, talking about reparations that don't belong to no goddamn Ghanaians. They were the partakers of the slave trade, and they were acting as if they could speak for us. The disrespect has reached heaven. It has reached heaven. It is Ghana's fault that they have got this on themselves. It is all their fault.
I am Emefa Akosia Adati. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Many thanks once again for staying with us. Now, at least 12 people have been confirmed dead and almost 500 rescued 24 hours since the rains tore through Greater Accra. This is according to the Ghana National Fire Service. From Alaju to Circle, families are wading through mud-soaked compounds, salvaging soaked items, ruined foodstuffs that once kept their homes running. Traders who built their livelihood stall by stall are now sorting through debris for anything spared by the fire and floodwaters. Meanwhile, teams from the Ghana National Fire Service and NADMO remain on the ground, checking on residents still trapped, displaced, or in need of urgent shelter and supplies. Now let's start from Agublushi, where residents have told my colleague Fatal Bayaga at least 11 bodies have been retrieved from floodwaters swept through the community. According to residents, the deceased include 5 children and 4 women. They are calling on authorities to urgently expand the drainage system across the area to mitigate the impact of future floods.
Almost nine people died yesterday from the water.
Just around this area alone?
Yeah, this area alone.
9 people?
Yeah, 9 people. I think 5 children and 4 elderly people. Women, 4 women, 5 children.
So, is it that was you, the local people, who went into the waters to be able to retrieve these bodies, or you saw NADMO officials and all of that?
No, yesterday there was not any NADMO officials around, because during that time I don't think there is a space for anyone to drive through this very flood. So we did the work ourselves. So after the rain, and we managed to call the police, not even the NADMO, we called the police. So they were the one who came to our rescue to come for the dead bodies, and from there. Even this morning we saw one dead body, so, a lady with her child at the dam.
They were also dead?
Yeah, flat.
So you got a saying as well, chuki. It's Muna Mukasa Quenimity, Munka champion for no mumble boy.
Very serious.
Serious, and yes, you kitwa. Where the toy and run it there, see a beer, and we are deeper. Your Gary Bibia say, Yanima dear, very crisis here. Timon, my beer, Mummuana Mumbai. Also, we have projects, project garage projects.
What is Garo?
Almost project Muswaki, over 4-5 months in your Mumbai. Yanimeda, Umbesaba, who community, Mobos, Bibiase, Mukasa, and Equity, Munka champion for no boy. Nationally high, Papa, Crawford, Fuko down, Crawford Kios, Crawford Cars, and Yamakra Coco. He was a non year, you will show them throughout. Tell me, Pamucho, Munya, be from my.
Gota no so aye ketekete o ma gota ketekete bia maye enti so ne to a na ajiri aha ni nyina oba ha ti se impu sa on se na mpu eti no sa na eti wa ha no obi ba wewu nipa mienu nipa ba ko ni ba mienu ewu condemn sister fufuro so obi ewu obi wo no ni nyama ni nyina akọ o wan fa one person o sorry and pants person and not the sorry one fashion one young one cobompo so got no so I die I said got no nyina munje na munsimu na got and sin on my door na no de no na suna o ma san hye concrete o ma ye mu bibia na e da o san o so mu ye ni hani nya na hani nya de en da ho na nso ni to o munya space what I say na nso ni to a onko entumi enko obidian mo obidian hye bibia window level o be unse na nso na kasa na radembo and so sha enko akobi eni ne ba o ya de o ma ne nufo akunu aden Ghana mpenifo mumboaye wati mumboaye na ya den why baby amuti amuto amu ba ye ho ntoyen wa ha.
So all the suffering and vexing, feeling that we had to listen to people retell a version of Juneteenth and act like they had authority over us was very, very upsetting. It was so upsetting that Ghana was doing that. And it's like today is the 30th. It's a couple of days, over 2 weeks since that happened, that God has paid it forward to these clowns, to these demented individuals that thought that they could get away with trying to capture us against our will. The nerve. And this is the consequence that you pay. This is righteous vengeance that God allowed to have happen to Ghana. You cannot just go fiddle around with other people's ancestors and act like you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Because if you do, God will come and avenge my ancestors like he did, and he continues to do. This is the second time that a flood happened after President Mahama dared to disrespect Black Americans' ancestors. March 25th, at the UN lying about having ancestry to the ancestors in the burial ground in New York. He stood up there talking about he's going to be the avenger for reparations. They gave him a fake award for claiming to be the hero for reparations. And he went back to Ghana that day only to face a flood like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it rained for like 7 whole hours. I believe 4 people perished and it flooded. But this time it's a lot worse, y'all. They're going to want to talk about what's going on with the engineers and everything like that. We're going to get into this conversation about why they keep on having floods. Why don't they ever fix it when they have all the money? They got $1 billion to fix it years ago, and they never, ever did.
For yesterday, it was physical, and it's very worrying. As you can see, I don't need to talk much. You've seen things that the flood has destroyed. But my message is to our leaders. You see, this gutter here, this same gutter here. First, it used to be big, and God willing, we were awarded a Garrett project. We thank God that, at long last, some development has come to our community. But the contractor, the workers, came to demolish the old gutter, the big one, and look at what they gave us. Something small, which I can use my leg to even cross. When you ask them, they said, okay, this one is just for our bathing drainage system. And since that time, they did this thing, this gutter. Even small rains.
Just like the gutter, that is their spirit. Trash. Every opportunity that they get, these people want to snatch up anything that belongs to somebody else and claim it. Claiming the history that we accomplished in America? No. Trying to claim ancestors of old? No. Trying to claim us as a people? No. We never said yes, yo. Ghanaians, knock, 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 knock. Black Americans, by and large, have not said yes to y'all invitation to unify with y'all because we know better. We see a scam. We smell a scam. We know what's what. President Mahama is a liar. He is a demon from the depths of hell. And he has pretty much put a curse on Ghana right now. With him disrespecting our ancestors, the avengement of what is being shown right here is because of what he did on the 13th, Juneteenth, or is it 19th? No, June 19th. June 19th is Juneteenth. You can't get away from disrespecting other people's ancestors. I know that you guys are used to like grabbing people up and putting them on the sale, on the line to be sold. But we're a different people. We surpassed slavery. We're not people of slaves right now. We accomplish a lot more. We are God's chosen people. and you try to put a curse on us of bondage again by trying to act like you can just take over somebody else's holiday and tell us what we're going to accept it to mean moving forward. You're not going to change the meaning of Juneteenth. And this is the example of what I mean about what will happen if you continue to disrespect Black American ancestors. More of this will come.
So please, our leaders, those that are spearheading the community and the constituency for us, please, they should check up on the garage projects. Even if you move to our chief palace, in front of our chief palace, it's very bad. Very, very bad.
Well, let's take you to Alaje, where my colleague Beko Maxwell Justice has been engaging some affected persons.
How you be fear and that's a workshop? Fitting shop. I fitting shop. Baby, I read it. This is how we answer who say Sakano, a best back here. I say who say best back, but more now, I bear what maybe we are. Yes, you boy in the film. Now control about the money you say, we are boom and I say, Yapim. And son as a car bit mass pack because the iron is your more ultimate pack and it's just a battery and square word, just a charge it. But say, and yes, you have me. Let me yes, demand. Say, maybe
Let me find another video. I don't understand what the hell he's saying. And okay, there's a lot of videos talking about this, y'all. A lot of videos. Let's get to see if this is the right one. Okay, I'm just gonna play this right here. Please hit that like button, y'all, by the way. Don't be shy. Please hit the like button. The truth is the truth, and the devil is a liar. And just because people are posing as righteous people, pretending to be concerned about humanity, doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it true. All of you guys want us to believe that Ghana is doing right by us, and they are not. They're trying to snatch from us. They're trying to put us in a state of bondage with having us claim something that we ain't never co-signed for. We're not African. I don't have nothing against Africans that don't have anything against me, but I do have an issue with those that do work to get advantage into our lineage and try to meddle with us and toy with us as if it's cool to do. You know, sometimes the battle is God's. Sometimes you ain't got to respond right away on what's going on with you. Sometimes God will make things right by, cause it a disaster, which they did in Ghana. And I'm not going to say, like I said, I'm not sad about it. Because like I said, this is righteous anger. And maybe the next time he'll be wary to keep on fooling with us when we tell him, and he knows that there's a delineation movement going on. Everybody knows there's a delineation movement going on. So why are they playing dumb like they don't understand? They don't understand. They don't want to understand. These people are moving around as if they are our master or something. Like, we don't want you, Ghana. No means no. What part of that don't you understand? You should go get the people that's interested in you. And the reason why I know you guys are fake and phony is because Haitians are no longer on TPS, and you guys are not reaching out to invite them to Ghana. Remember all this talk about going to Ghana, building Ghana? Oh, we your people. There's a campaign going on pretending like we really want these citizenships. Whoever wants citizenship over there as a Black American, look at what you're going to be getting, okay? You're not going to be getting what you think you're going to get. That place is cursed. God's letting us see that it's not right for us to go over there. It's not right for us to trust these people. They have an agenda against us. It is not a pure intention. Look at this.
Yeah, so surely you know where I'm getting with this, and you know where we're all getting with this. In fact, our put together suggests that even 2014. But you recall that last time I took you to the front page of the Daily Graphic, 18th April 1960. So Accra in Ghana has been flooding even before I was born, even before my mother was born. But we're back again talking about it. It is the same script, same problem. We haven't changed a bit. But you never know. Maybe today's conversation will ignite a little level of change. So this morning, let's start with the president's directive. Says that they're going to be quite tight, a little more on buildings that are in waterways, illegal structures, and also strengthening all of the institutions that are supposed to help fight this problem. But the president said it himself, right? If you missed it, here's what the president said.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. One, the recorded rainfall today is one of the highest in several years. The Meteo looking at approximately 140 millimeters that was dumped on Accra. Last year, the maximum rainfall was 56 on a single day. And so the volumes are much higher. And so there are many issues to the flooding in Accra. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025, 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. GMET say that in 2024, for a period of 30 days in June, we had 85 millimeters of rain. And then in 2025, it increased to 172. And then in 2026, for the same 30-day period in June, it increased to 333. And so the waterways are not getting a chance to recover before more rain is dumped. And the wet days are more. Out of 30 days, 22 days, it kept raining. And so there were only 7 dry days or 8 dry days in June.
Ha, ha, ha. 7 years, a spiritual thing. 7 years since you guys been trying to have people go over there to Ghana. And the range responded with almost the same exact number, 7 or 8 days, he said. All deserving. You earned this righteous vengeance of God. President Mahama, if only you would have somebody smart enough to really advise you on what it is to be messing around with Black Americans' ancestors. Like you thought it was going to be an easy ride, just to lie your ass on platforms and spew rhetoric that you don't even believe in, talking about the worst humanity of it, but you were a partaker of it. Your tribe, the Ganja tribe, was a partaker of snatching up people, putting them in chains. And now you the greatest hero. You represent the goodness of what it means to be a leader for that. No, God will not be mocked. No, he's not going to be mocked. Not by you, not by nobody pertaining to our ancestors and pertaining to our destiny. We are a protected people. We need to be actually confirmed as a protected class of people. Because people like you and others are trying so hard to dismantle us as a people, and we are not having it. We see the writing on the wall. We're telling you, Africans, good luck with your endeavors in Africa. But we don't have nothing to do with whether you survive or thrive or build or whatever. It's not our business. Mr. Mahama'S trying to make it our business by forcing us in a relationship with him, because he's talking about reparations that don't even belong to him to talk about in the first fucking place. The irony of it. God is good. He always avenges me. I'm so glad that God showed up. Thank you, God.
And so that's the climate side. That is an act of God that we can't control. But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between two natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years, it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste. Instead of sending it to the appropriate place, even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the aboboya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. And so we need to, one, look at it from an engineering perspective in terms of how we can open up the channels, but at the same time, look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times. I'm tired of hearing it, but anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal. We'll not only break the houses, we have to move the rubble out of the way, because there's no use breaking a house and leaving the rubble in the waterway. It's just the same as leaving the house. And so it's going to be quite a major issue in order to resolve the problem of Accra. But ultimately, the other solution will be to decongest Accra. And that's why we're planning that we move some of the city out, that is the major government departments, and then also create a new center of growth so that our people will start building outside Accra in a new city instead of everybody looking for some space in Accra.
And he needs to focus on them and not us. That's the point. Maybe this will help you to focus better. But I know he's not done, because he can't help himself. He comes from a wicked tribe. Again, it's called Ganja, Gonja. It was heavily stratified federation that relied extensively on a slave class for labor and economic power, funded by military conquest in the 17th century by Sumali Nundawara Kappa. The Kanja Kingdom, located in modern-day northern Ghana, grew into a major West African power by dominating regional trade routes. Slavery played a defining role in both the internal structure and external economy of the Kanja people. Why would this person, President Mahama, whose bloodline is the Ganja, dare have this burning desire to try to claim our ancestors against our will and try to get the reparations when he was a partaker in the slave trade? This is the irony, the hypocrisy, the disgust, the disdain I have for this President Mahama. I don't want this man nowhere near us. No way, no shape, no form, no fashion. This man loves his history for slave trade. This man is trying to get us bonded somehow. He revamped and remade the whole entire meaning of Juneteenth to be about the slave trade, when it was supposed to be about freedom. This man thought that that was a better idea for him to change the meaning, as if nothing was ever going to happen, no consequence was ever going to come. He got it all fucked up. He misspoke out of order. God is not here to bless somebody like this. And this is why this flooding is major. And I'm so happy that it happened, to teach these people a lesson about leaving us the hell alone. Nikki says you would think they'd eventually learned their lesson with all the negative karma they received. No, they didn't learn with the UN flood. You said doing whole slavery enactments. My good, yeah, child, exactly. There ain't no good in that. Dumping garbage in the drains. That's what they get. Idiots. So much garbage in their drainage system, it floods the whole country. Yuck. I know, disturbing and disgusting. And they want to get our money to be poured in with their mess that they got going on over there. They ain't trying to have us put that money in our community here in America. They're trying to get y'all to be dumbed down and believe that you're still a slave to them. Think about that, yo. Think about that.
Looking for some space in Accra to build. But that's a long-term solution. Like I said, it's a 20-year project. They are still working on the designs. Once they do that, we'll demarcate. People can start buying plots. If they like, they can start building houses. We'll do the roads, bring the water and electricity, so that it eases the pressure on Accra as a city. But I just want to...
I pray that God makes sure nothing will become successful until they tap out and leave us the fuck alone. Yeah, I said that. Until he taps out, until he understands that he cannot touch us, I want all things wrong to continue to happen with Ghana. Keep it cursed until this man taps the fuck out.
Express my sympathy with people who have lost property. Loss of property has been very extensive, and I want to thank the military, NADMO, the police, and the Hydro Works and Housing Ministry, and all the emergency response team, 48th Engineers Regiment, for the rescue that they did. I've seen many of the videos where people had to be carried out of their houses. They deployed their boats, and they helped to save quite a lot of lives. NADMO will do what it can to try and identify the victims and see how we can just support them in a way in the next few days. I've asked the Minister of Finance to release some money from the contingency fund so that we can do some post-flood relief for persons who have been affected. And so let me again express my sympathy, but let us change our attitude and let us find a permanent solution to
Yeah, change the attitude that you can contain a people against their will, President Mahama. Start there. You got some repenting to do, dude. You got some repenting to do. I know you guys been using juju and other stuff, witchcraft and all of that on us. But this is what it results in, that you wish harm to us, and this is what will in turn happen instead to you, because God will not be mocked. He will not be mocked.
If your car is in a workshop at Alaju, then you should know that the car is gone. Master, June 3rd disaster was quite bad, but it is nothing compared to what is happening tonight or today. They deserve everything that is coming to them, because you are releasing all this trash. You are releasing all this trash into the gutter.
You guys see all the trash? Worry about yourself, President Mahama, in Ghana. Stop worrying about Black Americans. I pray this continues and reach heaven and have as many floods as necessary until you get in your thick skull. We can't be fucked with like that. You can't fuck with us like that. We're God's people. Don't you understand? I understand we took a hit. We've been fragmented and confused. I get it. You guys thought we were done. You thought it was over. But God says you can't touch us. God says go get and handle your own shit. Leave my people alone. All right?
You expect it to go. So guys, these are the properties that has been damaged. All of these were submerged totally. So look at this, Charlie.
Look at that. Lord.
This is the situation here at
Damn.
Anajo. Look at where this car has ended up. This car was parked here, I remember. What up, guys? Bright side here. Accra tonight here. And Charlie, today is the 29th of June 2026. And it's been raining since, I think, 5 to 6 a.m. And it's now 10:34 a.m. And it is still raining, which is approximately 4 hours. Continuous rain, like serious, cats and dogs. And it'd be crazy. And multiple parts of the city has flooded. In this video, I'm going to show you how the situation is. I'm trying as much as possible to drive in the elevated parts of the city. I'm avoiding the, lower elevations. So I actually came from La Paz, and I'm currently on the Abeka Road heading towards Abeka Junction. I wanted to use the Achimota stretch, but the road is blocked from the Achimota side going to the Circle side. So I came to use La Paz.
And let me show y'all why this is happening to Ghana. This right here is why this is happening to Ghana. Doing a reenactment of the slave trade on Juneteenth, which is about freedom. This is why. I actually wanted you to hear what was said. They trying to make it all dramatic. Oh my God, I can't stand these people. I can't stand y'all. Shit. I ain't gonna lie. I cannot stand y'all. At all. At all. The disrespect is at an all-time high with y'all. And y'all thought y'all gonna get away with that shit? Oh man, you guys got it all fucked up. I'm gonna play a better version of it. Let you see how ridiculous it was to reenact slavery on a Freedom Day. Make the meaning of freedom be about slavery instead. That's what earned Ghana what it's getting. They thought it was cool to have 80 countries attend this gathering for pushing historic slavery reparations and not even have our input, not even invite us to be there to say yay or nay. They're like moving as if they have the power and authority over us. God was not smiling down with this stuff right here, yo.
Decision making, rule making, and resource allocation. This includes reform of the United Nations.
History does not ask us to inherit guilt, but it asks us to inherit responsibility. While we may not bear responsibility for actions committed centuries ago, we are responsible for the world those actions have helped to create.
It's diplomacy and political mobilization. The Commission's engagement with UNESCO.
None of us gathered in this hall today can be held personally responsible for the atrocities of the transatlantic.
Yeah, you can. Hello? You can. Ghana can. We can turn this on you. We can sue you for pain and suffering that you're causing, performing all this bullshit about our ancestors that we did not contend or say we wanted. We didn't give consent. We didn't say yes. We didn't give you a blessing. You did not come and get a blessing from us. You went over our head and talked to the Democrats, talked to the CBC, talked to the NAACP, talked to everybody about our shit, about us, without us. And you thought that that was okay to do. It's not okay on what you've done. You shall be held accountable for that. But God has given you the understanding with this new flood, a second flood, since you've been doing all this bullshit. You can be held accountable. We can look to sue you. I don't forgive you. I don't want to have nothing to do with past people that were involved in the slave trade. I don't. I can't trust you. Your homeland is in shambles. You can't manage your own shit and your own people. But somehow you want to try to include us in the bullshit that you got going on without our consent? No, that's why God is showing and proving what is it? Justice and retribution is all about. You're getting retribution done against your home country because of this bullshit that you are doing without the blessing of Black Americans. You act like you don't have to get a blessing from us. You don't have to get, okay. Yeah, you got a few dummies that are Pan-African clowns that are crash dummies. Look at how they're enjoying themselves in Ghana right now. Oh, I hope all of y'all that's over there is suffering. Even you Black Americans that are Pan-Africans especially. I hope to goodness you got hit up really bad. I'd be laughing if I get a name on who you are. I'll put you on a video and talk about it, laugh about it, enjoy myself about it. Because y'all did all of this without us. Because you act like you got it like that. You act like you in control. Who told you that you got authority over Black Americans now? Fool. You ain't got no authority. God is the last say, clown. Let's get back to the floods because I enjoy seeing it. I enjoy seeing it. Because I didn't enjoy seeing that reenactment of slavery, I'll tell you that. He was trying to harm us, traumatize us, try to put us in the mindset of a slave. The fuck? So yeah, God needed to come and show up to your ass. God needed to show you that what you think you doing ain't cute at all. Hold on, let me get some more pictures to show what I'm talking about. You know, I enjoy hearing them suffer. I ain't gonna lie, because they had a plan for us to be suffering. They want us to be bondage slaves to them. They actually want us to be debt slaves. So whatever way y'all struggling, oh fucking well. Okay? I hope the night was long and cold and unclean and unkind. That's what I hope. Wishing slavery on me, that I wish everything else on you. Okay?
Gota se ne ho nyina mo bia nkana gota ho biom se se amo na gota se ne doso ho gata se ne ho no kuye so no ensuo no tope na start se eno so atwe mo nyina ti se no se nyanyame ena ma ya asenye ne pa ya adesan ya aka ni pe be wu no yentimi nkan ho asem because
I mean, I wouldn't mind if it rained 40 days and 40 nights. I ain't gonna lie to you, Leonard. I ain't playing. They done pissed me off. They have triggered me beyond my understanding. I've been so pissed. And now I'm kind of relieved. Praise God for helping me get relief from being pissed. Because nobody was caring about us being pissed that was done to us. Everybody think we got to take anything that everybody does to us. Oh, well, you're traumatized. Oh, well, we shitting on you. Oh, well, we talking about your ancestors. Oh, well, we claiming you against your wishes. Oh, well. Oh, well, this then, bitch.
Yes, sir. Oh, my boy.
Andrew, I can't cook any pacranco, Bibianco, Sunu Kwan, Co, Sunaya, Muninia, containers, Ninia, any shops, Ninia, Echo, Sunia, Hardring, and why you more hatchet? My Edgemore, yes, see that. The BSCC to NSC, and then do a dangerous pan. The BSCC to NCC, Sina, and Dura, who will cast a steel cast a got a by this time.
See, while y'all was disrespecting us, we had a cool bed to sleep in last night. We had air conditioner or we had a heater, either way. We had working electricity. We had clean water. We weren't looking confused like he's looking right now. Okay? We're not trying to join festivities with y'all. Okay, we are God's people, and I know a demon when I hear one. And you guys are being ran by a demon, whether you like it or not. And therefore, whatever happens to a demon and its people, oh, fucking well.
Eninia na eko container bibia cars. Ushe got any crab still ube cars for got any. Into Indra the any dangerous pa. Ndra dia we munyina kanchu munyina unhune bia. Wonam ka kwan we sokora na adru sisi. Aha se nyina aba bia woni nyina wontimi mba ha. Afa ha nyina afa na ntwem yenu. Aku afa cars bebre. Ewa ha manfo poly tank ni fridge munyina de ko. Enti yesra ba no ye bribi maye. Because send a hanu ya ne de enye fine. Send the hanu teno enye fine. Because a man for containers, a man for kiosks, a man for cars nyina nsuo na afa. Enti yesra no got and ye bribi maye. Ade amaya wonti ya pa.
Ya se mo tutu ne ma gugata no mano so ka wonti na ya na nsu na to.
Ba no bebre tutu bola ne ne nyina gumba ye de enka ho. Because yanti omo tete ben gota no omo na tutu ne ma ye de gugu ayi gota no mu sanda ba because unu obi kurana o tira ne so de tira utu ne ma egu gota no na person ne no nko yeso yampa ye ho asem na ya fa ya kwa na ya pa ye ba bia fa.
Where were you?
I was in the house.
Where?
In the house.
You were in the house.
Yes.
And what happened to you? Who did you reach out for help?
My father.
So it was your father who rescued you?
Yes.
Okay, that's your son.
Yeah.
Where was he yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday, honestly, he was home with my woman, but I was at the shop. No, I was at the shop. So they called me and it was like, the gutter is almost full, so I should come around. As soon as I got here, I noticed the water has already bashed me. It's entering the room. So I have to make sure I raise up my books and his books and my iPad and everything up. I did that and I went to this one-story building here at the back of the bridge just to get myself.
I don't give a damn. Okay, let's get to them talking among themselves about all this flooding and stuff and see what they have to say. You know, all the supposed experts or people that are reporters and all that kind of thing. Let's see what they say. I don't give a damn. Okay, if you were spared, you thank your lucky stars. Okay, but 12 people were out of here. 12 people checked out. 12 people. That's major. And you guys earned that bullshit. You earned God's wrath. Literally, y'all earned the wrath of God. For real. I love to see when God is justful, just what do you call it? Giving us justice and giving us deserving attention and concern and love. He's showing us that we're not forgotten. He's showing us that, you know, people cannot get away with harming us, get away with just scamming us and making shit up. No, you can't do that. You can't just make something up and act like you got it like that. No, God gonna holler at your ass each and every time. Each and every time. You can't be fake and phony in our name and not get exposed. Okay? Fix your drainages, President Mahama. Figure out how to not cause a death trap with your people there. That's what you need to be focused on. 12 people is not short change right there. That's like actual major loss. You guys have 30 million people over there. You lost 12 people one night. Wow. You know? But you running around, you see how he's talking all soft-spoken like everything's going to be fixed? No, it ain't. It ain't going to be fixed, and I pray that it won't be fixed. I pray that there'll be about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 more floods and let them be worse than the last time. Each and every time, let it decrease.
And there's no rain. Forget about all these things. We need to make sure we do this. The third one, weather on waterways. This one, the government together of all Ghanaians, let's come together and deal with this ruthlessly. But bigger than that, look, we will all suffer. Few people burn on waterways. Like we are saying, those of you at the hilly areas, some time to come. it will come there. When we continue blocking the waterways, it will come there. So let's make sure we deal with this issue. This is the time we need, a drone shoot of the whole Accra city and see where the waterways are. Then we start educating the people.
To be honest, do you think we need a drone shot? Do you not think we know where these...
Oh, we know, but still, there are new channels coming up. There are new channels coming up. We need to look at all this.
Water don't find new channels. Water always uses the old channel.
Really?
Yes.
I thought water finds its
Water
way.
don't find new channel. Water always uses the old channels, you see.
So when is
there are rivers and streams in Accra, which we have now turned into gutters. You see, they are not gutters. They are streams and rivers. So when it rains, from time immemorial, like the president said, water goes from that end to this end. And water knows where it goes. You can't tell water where to go. That's why it forces its way into the same area. Why don't you think that when you build on these waterways, the water will use somewhere else? Well, it doesn't. Water always finds, because it's a natural flow. Natural flow of river.
So when you block it,
it would force. It doesn't have any. It will force its way. It doesn't. You can't divert it. You try. Look, there's an issue in Kumasi. There's a place TUC Junction where there is a big river that comes down from the Patasi roundabout area down to that TUC Junction going down. Right? People try to now do some. Yes. You can't divert it.
I see.
Okay, so I think this is the time to do all those things. Look, you see, when you are moving from, let's say, Osu to Teshi, you get to Labadi Beach. Immediately after Labadi Beach Hotel, left and right, there were these lagoons.
Yes.
Where, all these storms rest.
Yes.
Today, you will not see a drop of it there. Why? The whole place is filled, a new development, and then
that's why Chado is flooded.
Yes.
Because there are two rivers. There are two rivers that comes down. If you look on the map, there are two rivers that comes down from the inner Accra, merges at one around La, and now comes into that lagoon.
That's right.
The Ubeshi Lagoon. The Ubeshi Lagoon is now like a small gutter.
I see.
They created a place called, is it Mapoma or whatever?
Well, there are various now. They've built a hotel. Even recently, somebody has opened a new restaurant in that area.
So, places like Chado, it surprises me because a few people that I know live in Chado are very educated, they are enlightened, they are exposed. They couldn't tell that.
No.
When they were,
because the rivers will burst their banks. You see, the problem is not when they are low flow. When they are high flow, like the president said, a lot of rain dropped at the same time, and the flow is now high. So when the flow is high, that is what now happens. So the issue is that when the channels doesn't exist anymore, then it turns into something else.
So MFA, I think we need to deal with that.
Not only that, y'all, they actually had a fire too. Let me find that. They had a fire too. Let me see. Like, God is good. I'm telling you, you can't fuck with us without us getting vengeance back. We're getting it back. We're getting our answer. God is recognizing us. Okay, where's the recent one? Please hit that like button. Fire in Ghana. 2026. Okay, let me see if this is going to show it.
We need an assistance for people that die in their room. The whole place is flooded.
Guys cannot fuck with people's ancestors, yo. If y'all don't want to have these types of things happen, you got to tap out and repent. Go tell your president, go tell the others that have done this sin against us and repent. If you don't do it, it ain't going to stop, man. It ain't going to stop. So let me see what you guys have to say in the chat room real quick. Hold on. Please hit that like button. Please share and subscribe. That would be awesome if you guys did. And again, I feel the way I feel because of how we've been done. And they thought they were going to get away with it. They were just disrespectful in front of our faces and having us so upset. We've been talking about being so upset on TikTok. For the last few days, I've been talking to different people that have expressed themselves being overly upset with Ghana for disrespecting our ancestors and making a whole meeting without anybody that really represents us. You only let in the crash dummy Pan-Africans or the Democrats, and they're like our overseer on our shit. Taking over the conversation with 80 different countries, and they thought that they could just overwhelm us with all those people participating in a meeting to just feel like we can have to give up whatever is going on. No, God said you can't do that. You cannot disrespect Black Americans' ancestors like that. You cannot frustrate my children like that. There will be hell to pay for doing such a thing. And it's like it happened the very day he did the UN stuff. It happened again. Now it's happening again. Like, my God. Let me go back up. Thank y'all for being here. Whoever's in the clouds, thank you also for being here. I appreciate everybody. Let me see what you guys have to say about what's going on so far. You said, oh yeah, the essential air was invented by a Black American. Okay. I said, what's he saying? Oh Lord. I know, Tezer. He's been doing a lot. He's saying drinking dookie water is fine. Who said that? So what? I know that's right. What did your people invent? Nothing. They're trying to claim our ancestors to talk about those are our inventions. If you don't get the fuck out of here, Leonard says literally. Yep. That's not priority to them. They love pooping outside and catching malaria. Oh my God. Oh, shiznick. Dizam. Oh, you crazy, Leonard. The dookie content in that water is astounding. I bet. Ooh. Yeah, that's what y'all deserve. To get some doo-doo on that skin. Fucking around with my ancestors. Y'all act like we got clean water everywhere. We got more clean water than they got, James. That's all that matters. Turds floating everywhere. I'll take our poison water over their dookie water any day of the week. There's still places in the states you can't drink the tap water, and we have the ability to fix that. Oh, you're talking about Michigan, Flint, Michigan. Yeah, I don't understand why that's still not being fixed over there. I don't know. I'm not over there, but it's sad. Whoever is over there, that's really sad. And it was already musty over there. Can you imagine? Oh my God, the smells. When they gonna be able to take a shower? Y'all fucking around with our ancestors? Oh no, you can't do that. You said Trump's poo resembles his diaper. Okay. That's from a variance, not lack of money or skill. Okay. Looks like insurance fraud to me. These videos looks like AI is 2020. What's up with them cameras? Okay. Oh, that's right. They're Black caveman. Too late. They're on the menu. I knew it was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna happen? I'm glad it happened. Praise God for showing these clowns you can't fuck around with us. All that boasting and talking with bravado and acting like you just regulating and running shit. Look what happened to you now, Ghana. Look what happened to you now. You ain't regulating shit. God said nothing. You ain't regulating nothing. Let me give you a project to work on. Let me shut your ass up real quick. The fuck? Now, here's some more of the people's commenting on what happened and what's going on. Hit that like button.
Somebody's not here, nobody's here. The rain is still falling. It is still drizzling. They are waiting until someone lose their life. Now you see all the convoy will be here. They are waiting until the terrible thing to happen before you see all the convoy will be here. I've been here close 2 hours, so nobody's here. And it's still raining. And it's still raining. Look at all the food. So it's up to you guys to agree with me or not. To me, I do believe in democracy. I don't believe in democracy.
This is magical GH. Magical GH. And I'll be near my papa. Subscribe Nestle. Magic.
They can't even keep the sound going. What the hell? Let me fast forward a little bit. I want you to hear.
$3 billion every year in Ghana here. Where is China see? $3 billion every single year. And those who are still working around in Ghana here. Look at this thing. There are some is not here. Sometimes you know here. Indian minister is not here. The mayor is not here. Anybody we need to put the things to come here. Urgently, come and clear this thing.
But people are saying that it's our attitude to our citizens.
I agree with you. I will have attitude problem. That's why I say attitudinal problem and discipline, you understand that? And that's why I have law enforcement. That's why I say it's to do their job, you understand that? If the city is not doing their job, are you going to hold the individual? No. That's why if you go to another man's car, for example, if you go to UKR, they say attitudinal problem, but because the institutions are doing their job, they are still going to be accountable.
That's true.
You understand? So that's why they are calling that there. Ghana, we need to hold people accountable, but I don't believe in democracy.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Worry about your trash, Ghana. That's what the focus needs to be on. Not Black Americans, not their reparations, not their identity, but the trash and the floods. Okay? That should be your only thought until it's fixed. Stop obsessing over us, because what you're doing is toying around with the spiritual what we are as a people and what you really are as an individual, which is wickedness. President Muhammad is definitely a demon. Nothing about him is good at all. Nothing. Who wants to be bothered with somebody like that? I don't. In fact, I got a better video for y'all. Y'all got a wicked ass leader, therefore wicked things are happening to y'all often. It's going to continue to happen often. They ain't going to get nothing fixed for a long time until he stops obsessing over us. God, let Africa, let Ghana in particular struggle until they leave us alone. Until they tap out and say, we're done. We got bigger fish to fry. We're not fucking with these people. Make their situation hard to where they only can focus on themselves. That they gotta get busy with helping out their own people and focusing on their own problems. Not trying to act like you taking control over us. We don't want you taking control over nothing. We want you out of our affairs is what we want. We want us to be left the fuck alone. You're not doing anything good for us. You're not blessing us. You are becoming a hindrance. You're becoming an irritant. That's why God did this to y'all.
To several hours of torrential rainfall, many communities within the capital have been submerged. Even compounding the situation for those who live in areas like Adabraka, Seko, is the overflow of the Odo River. Now that overflow has led to severe flooding of homes, of shops, even factories here within the Seko Adabraka catchment area. Now after the time we were putting together this report, one person had been confirmed dead. What you see in your shot is just the road leading to the Adabraka, just where City FM office is, but that has also been cut off. So you have the NADMO officers, you have military officers also here trying to, just restore some calm and restore some order here, because a lot of people are now gathering around, just wondering what exactly is happening, because some of them are being turned away by the military officers who do not want people to cross. Some of them want to cross to the other side. The military officers are asking them to return. We're told that the situation is even worse at the Sahara area. Where we're standing is not too far from the Odo River. Now, the Odo is so full, Nana. It's so full that, the Odo goes through a big drain. If you're not careful, you won't even see the drain. So it is so full, just broken its banks and has entered into areas where ordinarily you wouldn't expect the river to go into. Even in the worst flood situations that we've experienced, this is unlike it. After hours of rainfall, disaster has struck the people of Accra, especially those here in Seko who have nowhere else to go. What did you notice when you got here?
I was there before the rainfall. The time the rainfall, we see the rain come here is very too much. The time we come here, if the fire service people come, they can't get way to go there.
Where?
To go the place where the
fire. Where the fire?
Yeah. So we all stand here. Now before we see say the water they go small, we see what they are come to do the rest. That thing I'll have to talk to you.
The Honorable Member of Parliament for Protocol is here. The Honorable Zanoto Rollins is here, watching on keenly as NADMO officials and people from the Ghana Maritime Authority. I can see that inscription on their vest. Try to rescue as many people as they can. Honorable, if we can just engage you briefly. I know you're in a pensive mood trying to assess the situation, but what has been your assessment since you've been here? This is Channel 1.
This has been quite devastating. I mean, the rainfall has been quite torrential, to put it mildly, but the flooding is on a level that I don't think we've witnessed before. We've had the police, the fire service, the 48 engineers, and the Navy, as well as the fishermen who came over from Usu and brought their canoes to help in the rescue efforts. Unfortunately, there are some people who are refusing to leave their premises, and some are saying because they are afraid that they'll be looting if they leave their premises. But there's also a fire that's raging through the Odona market, which seems to be out of control. But unfortunately, the fire service is not able to access the location because the flood water is quite deep, and it's quite devastating to actually see. I think this is an issue that certainly I'll have to raise on the floor of Parliament, but I think it's obvious enough that there is an issue, and I have no doubt that the government is going to actually act on this quite urgently, because the mandate of NADMO is to be able to deal with all of these as an agency that should be coordinating all the other agencies in a situation like this. They do need the resources, and I think that we have to be able to approve the budget that is of the right level, for what they need to do.
Yeah, you sound really devastated, ma'am.
This is terrible.
So far, the team comprising of persons from the National Disaster Management Organization, the Ghana Maritime Authority, the military, police, the fire service, they've been able to rescue around 30 people. So the Maritime Authority has brought in 2 additional boats, and with some life jackets, they've been able to go in deep, and they've been able to rescue about 30. Now the team is divided into 2. You have one currently working at the Sahara side, and then you have the team working here in circle. Now we're told that this operation will continue for as long as the flood water are at the levels as they are, to try and rescue as many people as the team can. I spoke to the member of parliament earlier who expressed frustration and disappointment that the team that initially arrived was not well equipped to do the rescue. But subsequently, like I mentioned, you've had
Think about all those Black Americans running around talking about they want citizenship in Ghana, acting like that is the very thing that we all need to want to do. Look at how they looking right now, if they're even alive. They may be alive, they may be gone. But anyways, it's their karma for overselling Ghana. It's their karma telling us where we come from. It's their karma spending all that money and giving up everything to try to go over to a place that these people don't give a damn about you like that. They never will. They're always going to be something that they can use to elevate themselves over us. That's the way they were coming. And they thought that shit was funny. Are you guys laughing now? That's what I want to know. Are you guys laughing now? Because it ain't so funny after all. You know what I'm saying? It's not so funny after all. But this comes to mind of a scripture that I used to read. I've been reading this scripture since the 2018, when I felt in my spirit that Ghana was on some bullshit. Even before the year return even happened. I just felt like, it don't make logical sense that these people out of the blue have invited us to go to Ghana when they never acknowledged our existence this whole entire time. Someone must have been put up to do it. Ghana was tapped on the shoulder and put up to do the year of return. They saw that they could destiny swap us. They could mentally mess with us, for the ones that are so easily gullible for any damn that's suggested to them. Suggested to them that, 400 years we're returning home bullshit. And you ran your ass over there to Ghana. Didn't even think about what this really could mean if somebody was trying to be slicky and sneaky and deceitful. None of those things came to mind. But it came to my mind. I was like, these motherfuckers are lying. They're trying to ensnare us. And I looked up at the time debt issues that they were having. I looked up at the time the debt they had with China because of all the development that China has done throughout West Africa and all the other places. And it just started making sense to me that these people were trying to get towards our supposed, because somehow everybody knows we have a spending power, supposedly, of $1.3 trillion. And every time you turn around, you hear Africans talking about how much spending power you got. And I used to say, why are y'all so fixated on how much money we supposedly have? Because they want it. They want it. Why do they want it? Because they don't think we're deserving to have our own money and have our own way and do our own thing. And so they came with this side hustle that was tapped on the shoulder, I believe, by UK, by the EU, because they were also at this meeting on Juneteenth. The EU had the nerve to be there as well. Now you're trying to get reparations from the white man, yet you got the EU at this gathering showing support and endorsing what you're doing. They're in cahoots. They are in cahoots. And it got me to thinking, you know, we must be some really, really gullible people for people to just run over there and throw money at Ghana, giving them almost or about $2 billion for 1 year. The first year that they offered it, they got $2 billion for us going over there. And then once they seen that money, they were like, how can we continue to tap in to their money talking about slaves and slave trade? So they started making money off the dungeons, showcasing the nasty dungeons and the stench of the dungeon so people can get all sentimental. And then I'm sure that they put their hands around their shoulder and talk about investments, talk about land. Everything is extraction from us. And I started seeing that they were just trying to get money from us on every angle possible. And that these people really don't care about our existence. They don't care about us being healed. They don't care about us being helped. They just want to extract and utilize us like they think we've been utilized in America. Why not get the same people with the bloodline that elevated America to have them service us over here? Why not? But the problem is we don't want to be bondaged to you, Africa. There's no benefit for me being linked to you, to be bonded by you, except me becoming a debt slave. And if y'all don't understand that we see what you guys are really doing and what you mean, God's going to show you. And God is showing you that he understands what you're doing. And I understand what you're doing. And all our ranting and upsetness, you know, we're running around talking about getting lawyers and other things we're trying to do. But this is a great reliever. This is an equalizer on what is happening right now in Ghana. Because it shows and it proves that God will have the last say. No matter what, he'll have the last say. You can have all your people siding with you. You can bring in all these different countries siding with you. You can have the NAACP show up, the Congressional Black Caucus show up, all these sellout Democrats show out. but God in the end will have the last say. And this scripture piece that I want to read is going to really break it down on every level. You guys are going to get what this meaning of what Ghana has done with bastardizing the meaning of a freedom day, Juneteenth. This comes from Ezekiel 13. Remember that. And it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophecy against the prophets of Israel, that prophecy, and say thou unto them that prophecy out of their own hearts, hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. Who's acting as a prophet right now? This President Mahama'S running around talking about he's the hero of reparations. He's the warrior of trying to get reparations. He's fighting the fight. He's standing up for everybody, which is a lie. But he has not seen nothing. O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. And this is how these people are maneuvering, like thieves and foxes in the thickness of the night. You got a chicken coop. You got foxes running around in the middle of the night trying to get to the chickens in the coop. And they think that because of that spirit that they have on them, to be very deceitful and careful and sneaky, that they could battle with somebody like us, that they could trick us, that they could fool us into believing that they are actually our friend and they're actually our people and they're actually for us and they're actually trying to do good by us. And it's all a lie. It's all a scam. It's a scheme. It's not real. It says they have seen vanity and lying deviation, saying the Lord saith, and the Lord saith, and the Lord hath not sent them, and they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. So these people run around claiming that this is destiny. Oh, this is 400 years slavery. Oh, after 400 years, we could just get over the past and oh, we can make a new. Oh, we're all black. Oh, we should all come together and unify. Oh, y'all should come together and help us build Africa that we want, even though you ain't never said you wanted it, but we gonna say we want, because we want you to be partakers in whatever we say you want to be a part of. But they lie. They're lying. They don't care for any of that. They care about who we are as a people that are freed. We're the only known black people in the world that is not being subjugated by another melanated person from another nation. We're not under any authority of Africans, no authorities of Caribbeans, and that's what they do not like the most. All these immigrants that come to America are running around getting into these positions of power to what? To have ownership or authority over us. This is why I have an issue with the CBC, with the NAACP, Urban League, and all the others, because they have been sold out years and years ago. They're not a real representation of Black Americans. with the emphasis of Americans. They come instead and they bar us from the opportunity to represent ourselves and speak for ourselves. They what you go flip us off when we try to say something. They say, oh, we ain't got time for you. Oh, we're dealing with the immigrants. Oh, get in line. Wait your turn. All these false people that's supposed to represent us because they're melanated, they have been able to come in the guise of melanated people that do not have no interest for us whatsoever, but to control and contain us. That's all they care to continuing to do by using the word black and claiming to be black, which it was our identity, our ethnicity. And so they can siphon stuff that's connected to us in our history. And these same immigrants still have their own advocacy groups and nations that also deal with the president and have side deals with them. So we're locked out, essentially, of having our own representation that represents us as Americans and from our bloodline and have the best interest for us specifically. We do not have that right now. And they did this on purpose. These people are trying to make it seem like we are African and we're Pan-African and all the things that they have made behind the scenes with Ghana and others pertaining to us. We are on board whether we like it or not. And that's right there a sign of these people thinking in terms of keeping us in bondage. We cannot unify with anyone that would like to see us kept at bay from our own voice and our own representation. Out of decency, they should never be in a position of power over our representation because they're not helping us. They're siphoning the money and giving it to the immigrants. So that's just something I want y'all to remember when I read this again. They have seen vanity and lying deviation, saying the Lord saith, and the Lord hath not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they will confirm the word. So they have others believing in a fairy tale that unity is possible and Pan-African is real. But you see all these signs with the TPS and Haitians in the uproar, nobody reaching out to them to tell them to come over to Africa or to go to another Caribbean to help and assist them. No, there's no such thing as unity in any of these melanated places. They just want our money and they just want our service and they just want us to be under bondage to them. But they're coming in the guise as if it's all love, it is all unity, and it's all, no, it ain't real. And it goes on to read, have ye not seen a vain vision, and have ye not spoken a lying deviation? Whereas ye say, the Lord saith it, Alabet, I have not spoken. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, saith the Lord God. And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. Even because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. Say unto them which daubed it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. Look at what's going on with Ghana right now. It shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower. And ye, O great hailstones, shall fall. And a stormy wind shall rend it. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be seen unto you? Where is the daubing wherewith ye have daubed it? Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will even rend it with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in my anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it. So will I break down the wall that ye have daubed with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered, and it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. And like I said, God will have the last say. It doesn't matter if you think that you are strategizing and you're slicky and you're sneaky and you're deceitful and you're telling false hopes, selling false hopes, telling tall tales, running around acting like you got the right to just make decisions for other people that don't have nothing to do with you, running around acting like you got the authority over them. God is not happy with none of that activity that Ghana's been pulling. I know damn well I ain't been happy. And I'm so glad that God has answered my prayer and has shown his willingness to always have my back and always show the truth when it's all said and done. Whether it's a bad thing or not, like I said, these people are cursed. These people are trying to like do something to us against our will. So I don't have no sympathy to give. I have none. I have none. And I don't know how long this is going to go for, how devastating this thing will be and all of that. But it needs to happen because these people need to understand that they can't just be fooling around with us like they've been doing, you know, or you're going to get this.
Both coming to come help with the operation. So you see in your shot, one of the canoes returning ashore after conducting the rescue operation. You also see the smoke still billowing from the incident, the fire incident. Earlier in the morning, we received reports that there was a fire outbreak at a manufacturing company, a plastic manufacturing company here at Circle. Now, we're told that fire officers have had difficulty to reach the fire incident. I see a gentleman asking for whose baby is this. Say, man, why about no? Well, unfortunately, this baby crying is still yet to find the.
Like I said, God don't like ugly. You can't fuck around with us and expect to be blessed. You cannot. You cannot. You're going to have babies crying. You're going to have people not sleeping. You're going to have people unalived. You're going to have destruction. All these things is happening to Ghana right now, right after the stunt they pulled on June 19th. Didn't take long, right? 11 days. 11 days.
Mother of the child. And your husband. Fio ho obia free ho.
Mpacho obi nyina ya free ho ise ni ba bi ya beda mpo. Ya ma hie bibia sai. Ala dweme baba ko ono so ho no so nyama nyina e ho na nyama fra wo. Nyama nyina sai so betime bi so tone ni ade ensu
They're actually trying to destiny swap with us. And this is why God is turning his rage up. Because that's not cool. We ain't did nothing to nobody. We ain't harmed nobody. We ain't enslaved nobody. We ain't captured nobody. We ain't ruled over nobody. We've been trying to just be freed people, respected to be who we are as Americans. That's all we ask for. We're not asking for nothing extra because we realize that people are desperate out here and they're not being sincere in what they're talking on. And we just want to be left alone. You know, respect our autonomy and our agency to be a people that we are. You guys don't want to give us that. That's what the immigrants are constantly on social media spewing the rhetoric of black means African, right? What is that supposed to mean? It never has meant African. It's always meant Black Americans. We popularized Black. We made the history for Black. And when you say Black history, you're not thinking about Africa or the Caribbean. I'm never going to associate Black history with them. Never. It's never been that way. I'm not adding them to the list. Get your own shit. That's your problem. Y'all don't know how to get your own shit and leave ours alone. Y'all think that y'all should take what we got and just rule us. And we're not down for that. And God is showing, you know, the errors of your ways. He's literally showing the errors of your ways. So if people want to still stay dumbed down and confused on what I'm saying, thinking it's wrong to say and all that type of stuff, like I said, it's not okay for what people do to us, but y'all don't talk about it. Why is that? Why is it always okay for anyone to say and do anything to us? And nobody says a word. So when I point out what God has done to demonic people, then people are kind of quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's inappropriate. No, it's very appropriate. When there's a righteous anger of God, it's very appropriate because God says that he will avenge his people. That's what it says in the Bible. He will avenge his people. He's avenging us again. Okay, let me see what you're saying in the chat room. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. I haven't been here for a while, and I was like, man, only 100 people looked at my last video. What do you say? Let me go back up. Okay, I read that. I read that. Oh, Wanda, I knew it was going to happen. Yes, yep. Okay, yeah. I'm glad it happened because like I said, I've been so upset. I've been vexed. When I first seen the video, it was like the biggest relief came from me. God has relieved my tension that I've been feeling. I honor and I praise my Lord for avenging my people. Like we shouldn't have to go through all these different changes for people to respect us. But again, God has the last say. If you guys don't want to respect us, God's going to make you be humble. He's going to remind you basically where you are and who you are. You don't have to listen to me, but you will be listening to him. Yeah, after the slave auction is when this happened. Right after the slave trade, or after the slave auction reenactment is when, you know, we ain't been right online, actually. You know, to be honest with y'all, on TikTok, there's a lot of people really pissed off about all of this stuff. Once they hear about this, they're going to be relieved like I am. Send Umar over there with a boat. His ass will never do anything. He's just a lying asshole. That man has yet to mention what's going on with Haiti. He don't know how to spin it to make it our problem. He's hella mums the word. And also Afro Think Tank. You would think he would have talked about Haitians by now. He has yet to talk about Haitians. Like, what are y'all waiting for that are Pan-Africans? Where is all this passion for the Haitians that you pretend like you have for all melanated people? But when something tragic happens, then y'all don't want to say nothing because you guys are going to look foolish because you'll be standing by yourself, claiming you're going to do this and that. You ain't going to do a motherfucking thing. That's why you guys ain't said shit. You said they could have unalived some animals in those dungeons, but they told black people they were smelling the blood of their ancestors from 400 years ago. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why they deliberately want to traumatize us. They want to bondage us to the notion of the slave trade. They want to have that fresh in our head as if it was just yesterday. I mean, that's wicked as hell. That's fucking wicked. He said, okay, I read that. They really trying to manifest a certain reality for us where we actually do become subservient to, yeah, they want us to feel as if we are obligated to them. That's why they twist in the meaning of stuff to try to reset or indoctrinate us into the notion of being subservient to them. We take, Mike, are you African? You definitely take, Mike. You don't know how to give. That's your problem. All y'all know how to do is scheme and scam and take. You never offer nothing to Black Americans ever. You want us to give everything to y'all. You guys want us to be the sacrificial lambs for every melanated person around the globe, and we're not willing to do that. We're not going to be playing the games of Dr. Martin Luther King, and no, we're not here to be sacrificed for y'all. We're here to tell y'all to go build your shit. What do you mean by wait, we see? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Anyways, we're going to play a little bit more, and then I'm going to conclude this live. Again, God's rage is manifested behind what they did at the Juneteenth celebration in Ghana, talking about it was going to be meant for everybody. There's a minister of tourism running around talking about Juneteenth is global. It's meant for everybody. It's not just meant for Americans. Like, you guys can't dictate to us what it will be. That's why you got the shit that you got going on happening to y'all. And none of us are going to care. Like, bring it on. I want it to rain another 3 days straight. Shit. Don't play. Turn it up, God. Turn it up.
Not to go to the office and warn citizens to avoid crossing floodwaters by car or on foot. Authorities also urged residents living in low-lying and flood-prone areas to follow official weather updates and cooperate with emergency response teams. The Ghana Police Service, the Fire Service, the Armed Forces, and the National Disaster Management Organization have been mobilized to monitor the situation, assist those affected, manage traffic, and conduct rescue operations. Flooding was not limited to Accra. Disruptions were also reported on the Accra-Kumasi Highway and certain sections of the Winneba-Cape Coast Road. Travelers were stranded for hours. Across the border, heavy rains also caused flooding in parts of Lomé, Togo.
So here's the recent report of the situation over there in Ghana. This was about 20 minutes ago. Says floods and landslides triggered by days of torrential rain in the capital cities of Ghana and Ivory Coast have left at least 24 people dead. Authorities said Tuesday as emergency workers continued to pull hundreds of stranded residents from submerged buildings. Entire buildings and roads were submerged in Accra on Monday, cutting off access to several areas of the Ghanaian capital and the neighboring city of Tema. At least 12 people have been confirmed dead in Ghana, including a mother and her child who were both swept away in the Akamota Boshi district. Alex King Narti, a spokesperson for Ghana National Fire Service, told the Associated Press. In Ivory Coast, several days of rain brought flooding that left more than a dozen people dead, most of them in municipalities of Atikopui. I don't know how to say that. Somewhere in Accra, capital. According to the Minister of National Cohesion, Mais Belmondi Dogo. Local media reported at least 9 of the dead were trapped under the rubble in the same area in the Maskiro neighborhood following the rains that started on Saturday. Videos of the floods in Accra showed residents swimming through neck-deep water to rescue trapped neighbors, while vehicles were abandoned on flooded roads. Access to affected areas was a big problem for the emergency services, which had to request the help of military and Narti. Several neighborhoods remain partially flooded by Tuesday. Ghana's National Disaster Management Organization said emergency calls began pouring in around 7 a.m. on Monday as residents realized flood waters were entering their homes. The whole place was flooded. It's alarming. The Ghana Meteorological Agency urged locals to prepare for more rain this week in Accra. Glory be to God. Deadly floods are commonly in parts of Africa, which is among the regions most vulnerable to extreme weather events, despite being responsible for a small fraction of global greenhouse gas emissions, according to the World Meteorological Organization. So again, you can't play with God. I think I've said enough. I said all that I can say. Oh, but you know what? Oh, here's another report talking about the negligence of the government. Again, they worry about the wrong thing. President Mahama, you are worrying about the wrong thing. You should have been on this topic of what to do to prevent floods from happening again. It's already been on your watch happening, and you constantly keep talking about us. So that this is what you get for the disrespect of our ancestors. But the minority says Accra flood due to government negligence. The new Patriotic Party Minority Caucus in Parliament has described June 29th floods in Accra as the predictable consequence of a government that only talks about preparedness. Of course, that's all they want to talk about is preparedness. Be prepared. They don't want to go build and fix what's wrong, though. That's too dirty. That takes fucking effort. That's actually work. Work that Ghana don't believe they have to go do. They steadily want money poured in, thrown at them. And that's all they care about is the money being thrown at them. And that's why they are always losing and will never, ever be blessed. And they're going to stay cursed people. The caucus vowed to pursue accountability for victims. At a press conference in Parliament House in Accra on Tuesday, Mr. Alexander, whatever his name is, the minority leader, described the flood scenes as scenes that have been tragically familiar under this administration. He said major parts of the national capital were submerged, homes destroyed, lives lost, and citizens stranded in the very city that houses the seat of government. There are no statistics. There are our people. Okay. That's right. It's your people. That's what he needs to get to, is understanding that his people who are in Accra, in Ghana, actually need to be supported and helped so that they don't be dead with all these different floods because of the negligence of not fixing the flood issue. That means you're going to have the problem over and over and over and over again. How fast is this man going to respond to finally get his shit in order? He needs to keep his mind off of us and put his mind on his own damn people. He said the human toll must not be reduced to numbers. He added, tonight, somewhere in this city, a mother is sitting by the hospital bed holding the hand of a child she nearly lost. A husband is searching for a wife who has not come home. A father is standing in the wreckage of a shop he built with his own two hands, watching everything he worked for float away. We, the MPP minority, feel your pain. We hold you in our prayers tonight and in the days to come, but our compassion does not end with the words of comfort. That minority leader, on behalf of the caucus, pledged to use every tool of accountability available, both within the House and beyond it, to ensure that those whose negligence contributed to this disaster answered for it. They're criticizing the government's anti-flood task force announced last year by this President Mahama, chaired by Mr. Stan, whatever, the deputy chief of staff in charge of operations, saying yesterday's flood is the clearest evidence that this task force produced no meaningful intervention on the ground. Yeah, they're too busy worrying about us. The fuck? If serious drainage and flood mitigation infrastructure have been undertaken, the impact of the rains, however heavy, would have been measurably reduced. He added that the incident reflected a pattern, not an accident, noting that parts of the capital were also inundated weeks earlier when the president was on the official visit to the United Kingdom and boroughs. Like I say, this notion that they want to stop dealing with the white man. He's a bedfellow with the UK, and with, it says Belarus, I guess it's called. He's in cahoots with the EU, y'all. Can you imagine talking about reparations? You got people from the EU. I mean, I'm gonna ask the AI a question. Who from EU went to Juneteenth celebration? Let's see who was there. 26 or 2026. Okay, let's see if it'll show who it was there. No, it's not a good one. Oh, that's not a good one. I don't know. They're not talking about, I can't find it that fast enough. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I'll be able to find it another time. Oh, here is in Mexico, Juneteenth has been celebrated for generations. I didn't know that. So Mexico celebrates it too. That's news to me. But anyways, long story short, God will not be mocked, and my people will be avenged by God when people do us dirty, and you guys all have contributed to doing us dirty. We're telling you with our delineation movement that we don't want to be a Pan-African. We don't care for this fake unity. We understand that it's nothing more than a manipulation and a scam. And we just want y'all to go on about your business and worry about your own people and actually get to the root of what it is that y'all can do for yourself instead of obsessing and consumed by us. It's weird. It's like we feel as if we're being preyed upon. That's what we feel like. We feel like we're being preyed upon. And that feeling that we feel, God heard our cries. And God came down and smited some of y'all and caused all the destruction and fire and everything else. Maybe this will be a reason for y'all to finally figure out something new. I said, do they celebrate the 4th of July too? I bet you they do. They celebrate it too. Let me see why they do. Oh, hold on. That's my first time hearing that Mexico actually celebrates. Hold on. Maybe it's for the darker Mexicans, you know what I mean? Because there are some there, supposedly. Mexico celebrates. All right, let's see. All right, let me read this real quick and then I'm going to go. According to NPR, come on. What is wrong with my phone? I've been having problems with one of my phones. Don't want to act right. It says Juneteenth is often told as an American story, but it's been celebrated for generations in Corina, Torah, Elba, Heriton's hometown in Mexico by descendants of Black Seminoles. Oh, okay. This week on June 2019, communities across the United States will celebrate the Juneteenth, the holiday that commemorates the day in 1865 that the last enslaved people in the United States and Texas learned that slavery has been abolished, and that they were free. Karina Torrenlaba, I can't say these names, always celebrated this day with her family growing up in northern Mexico. We always call it El Valle de los Negros, El Dia del Negro, El whatever, or the Day of the Black, or the 19th, and that it was like our celebration. I didn't know that anybody was celebrating that. She said, I was born in a tiny Mexican town near the border of with Texas. She knew her ancestors, and the ancestor to the many people in the town were Black, but not much more. You know, we didn't really know the history. She had many that there had long thought the celebration of the 19th of June was to commemorate the day the town was founded. But that began to change when 2015 she went looking for the graves of her grandparents in southern Texas. When my brother and I arrived to the cemetery, we found so much more than what we thought. You know, were like, why is this the Seminole cemetery? The Seminoles were a mixed race community that formed when Black people escaping slavery in southern states found refuge with Native American Seminoles in Florida. Her graveside discovery stunned her because I didn't even know there were Black from the Seminoles of Florida. She set off on a journey to learn the history and her family ties to it. She learned that some Black Seminoles in Florida, fearing they could again lose their freedom, kept going. And they decided to come to Mexico since slavery had already been abolished there, and work for the Mexican government at the borders, protecting the borders in Mexico. She took trips, whoever this is, the name Torrelba, took trips across the South and South Carolina. She was knocked over to hear songs she recognized from her childhood. You know, the songs that they sing there, some of them are songs that were still preserved in Toby. I don't Nacimiento, whatever way you pronounce that. The spirituals that our ancestors sang. I was just like, this is our connection. You know, this is how we're connected. And in Texas, where she now lives and where African American, well, I hate saying that, Black Americans have long celebrated Juneteenth, she finally drew the connection. Y'all should catch the fact that there have always been Black Indian presence in America as well as Mexico. That is the truth that we've been trying to tell Africans, melanated immigrants, and Pan-Africans, that we also have indigenous ties, and that we more or less are more in connection with people of American soil because we actually can get names and dates where they were born and when they died, what they did when they were alive, who they were married to, who were their kids. If you can get that type of information, you're more likely to claim the people of the soil in which you live in. The issue is you guys want us to forget about our actual ancestors and pretend about an ancestor that we may not even have, even if we did have. I'm saying this. I hope you guys get this. Even if I have an African ancestor, so what? You guys discarded that ancestor and left them for dead. That ancestor had to reinvent him or herself from nothing. Everything was stripped from them. They are basically an American, or again, they're of the soil of America. I'm not reaching back where I don't know nothing of anybody. I'm not pretending that people are of my lineage because they're so desperate. And they're so foaming at the mouth about what they can think they can get away with trying to do against us. I'm only claiming people that I can confirm of American soil. And that's a lot of different races. I think I've seen white on my father's side, and I've seen Indian. And, I don't know about the African, but even if it's there, that person has been made new. They've been made over. And you cannot force me to go back with your ideology of what you think we should consider ourselves. Who are you, African, to tell us what we should concern ourselves with? This issue that you guys think that y'all should be telling us something, that you should be ordering something on us, you guys showcase how demented and demonic you guys are. You guys have not gotten that spirit of slavery off of you. You want to impose it on us again. And we don't want nothing to do with y'all because of that. We're asking that y'all go figure your own shit out and focus on your own shit. And maybe God will not do what he's doing to Ghana right now. But if you don't stop, it's going to continue. Over and over and over and over again. And I'm not going to be mad about it. I don't feel sorry for y'all at all because y'all earned it. You said they were very dark-skinned indigenous Americans. They weren't mixed Siberians, Africans. Exactly. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if I do or I don't, who cares? You are not the master of me, African. You're not the master of me, immigrant. You're not the master of me, whoever you think you are. We're not ordering anything onto you. We're not imposing ourselves onto you. Y'all should respect where we are. We've telling y'all for years now that we do not want to be affiliated with y'all. Okay? And y'all are so hurt by that because you didn't have an opportunity to do us dirty. That's what it all boils down to. You want to have the authority over us. You're dreaming of having the say of what we can and can't do. And we're going to fight y'all tooth and nail on that. God is letting me know that he still is on my side, because like I said, I was feeling a little bit hopeless, a little bit upset about stuff. And now that he's allowed whatever to happen to Ghana, things are right with me again, because he stood up for us. So y'all need to go tell y'all leaders and tell y'all Pan-African goofs and tell y'all Democratic shills that we're not rocking with what you guys are planning. We're not doing it. And if you keep on ruffling God's feathers, so to speak, he's going to touch that ass. He's going to get that ass. Trump's not done with y'all. I understand that the birthright citizenship is a no-go. It was rejected by the Supreme Court. So all these babies over here, all this scamming and scheming, you guys are still going to be able to do that. But Trump's going to have something that he's going to make up or figure out or what to do to handle some of y'all. So it ain't over until it's over. With that being said, you said, what is, Hamite dogs? Go make Africa great again. Go home. Exactly. Go home. With that being said, again, please hit the like button. This is not hate speech YouTube, by the way. This is what God does when he has been mocked. When God is mocked, you're bound to get a lashing. That's just actual facts. Like it or not, it is what it is. Thank y'all for coming through. Please like the video and y'all have a great day. Bless up.